Good morning, good morning, good morning. And welcome back to the Operation Hill on Drive channel where we do what? Focus on healing, humor, and hot motherfucking topics. What's up, my nosy neighbors? What's going on? Before we get started with this Dear DJ letter, do me a quick favor. Please hit the like, comment, share, subscribe. That's all I need you to do. Go and hit the thumbs up on this video. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel because I get a lot of people telling me when I send a link, oh, girl, I thought I was subscribed. Yeah, okay. You didn't see my shit in your algorithm, so you know you ain't subscribed. Anywho, afterwards, stick around. Stick around and hear the duration of this Dear DJ letter and my feedback. And then afterwards, if you notice someone that this could be applicable to, this good old advice, or if you think somebody needs a healing heart session, go on and send them this video for me. In any event, let's get into the Dear DJ letter. Dear DJ, me and my boo been dating for the last 7 months. Been lit. And we really feeling each other. So much so that he invited me to spend the holidays with him and his family. His family is fun. They're loud, energetic, funny, and can cook. He has a lot of women in his family, and he's the oldest male everything. Grandson, son, brother, etc. The women in his family dote on him. They wait on him hand and foot, and he's the life and the nucleus of the family. Got it. I love that. Since the holiday season, which was again my first time being around him and his family, I've been to 4 more family events and I'm starting to notice some weird behaviors. Some of his female cousins and aunts give me they don't know he's their relative, but if he wasn't, that he would be their man. The aunts all greet him by kissing him in the mouth. The cousins hug him very closely, meaning front to front, pressed against each other. They sit on his lap, massage his shoulders, and even make inappropriate jokes about his sex life, like, I know my cousin got a big dick, and he be in these bitches. Which was also a part of an inappropriate story from the past that they decided to share in front of me. While all this is going on, my boo doesn't look the least bit uncomfortable or embarrassed, so I can see for him this is normal behavior. Not the fuck for me, and as you would say, absolutely not. Right, girl. I like my little boo, but I ain't too much into the incest thing. I don't know if I just need to holler at him and let it be known this ain't cool, or should I just exit stage left gracefully? Although the dating pool has shit and piss in it, I don't mind starting over. Let me know what you think I should do. Sign, I don't compete over any man, and definitely not with the fam. Ooh. Okay, let me take a sip of my water. Y'all don't judge my water. I got a little sea salt in it. Look a little gray. Pink Himalayan sea salt. Yeah. Electrolytes. Yeah. Whew. Well, there's no boundaries there. All right. So, this is a fairly new relationship. It hasn't even hit a year yet, right? So you guys are still in the I'm getting to know you phase. The I'm getting to know you phase is the bomb.com, right? It's so much fun. It's laughing, it's joking, it's what they will call, quote unquote, the honeymoon phase. I probably was in the honeymoon phase the first 5 years of my relationship, but again, the honeymoon phase has its highs and lows, right? Because sometimes it scales back, sometimes it revs up again. That's in any relationship. But that first couple of months, oh, please, you want to ask a person to marry you. That's how real it is, right? So, yes, you guys are still getting to know each other, right? And getting to know your partner, aka your spouse, you have to always factor in while you're getting to know that this is a stranger. So there may be things that come up for you that look absolutely nuts because, again, you're dating a stranger. Now, that's one part of it. Am I saying that I agree with what you're sharing is taking place? Not at all. I'm not even saying you have to agree with it, approve it, like it, or any of the above. I'm just saying that things like this can happen when you're meeting a stranger, right? Two is that, in my personal opinion, you guys drop down in the comments and let me know if you think something differently. To solidify solid ground, transparency has to be there, right? In order for transparency to be there, vulnerability has to be there, you know? And I don't think that withholding your feelings about a situation regarding your partner is the best thing to do to start building a new relationship with solid ground. But I do have a little bit of concern because while this situation may not be comfortable for you, it sounds like it's incredibly comfortable for him and his family. And remember, I'm sorry to tell you, my dear, I know this feels like the honeymoon phase, but I have to reiterate, you're a stranger. So now coming in to question or judge what is being done within a space that he has been in for forever, and you being the person to come in and do it, and you're the newbie who's a stranger, it's going to be kind of hard landing that plane without offending folks. Okay, because it sounds like, I don't know if this is like family tradition or what, but it sounds like pretty much what he's used to from them and what they're used to doing. And I won't even get into the part yet of what they're used to doing. I'll more so speak on the fact that it's what he's used to receiving. Because it would be different if, you got from him that, he don't really like it, but he just do it because it's family tradition, right? But if he seemed very comfortable in this space, then this may be not only their thing, but his thing as well. And do you want to come along as the girlfriend who has not even been around for an entire year yet and just meeting their family for the first couple of times, saying that you don't approve of something that they've always done that may be tradition for them, and also maybe something that they sounds like enjoys to a certain degree? So, my dear, what I would say is I have no issue with assisting you with addressing him about your uncomfortability. I just want you to be aware that in doing so, you will ruffle some feathers. I promise you, you will ruffle some feathers, and you have to be mature enough to understand that that's what's taking place and be able to navigate the conversation in a positive direction so that ruffling the feathers don't make you lose your boo. All right, so first off, right? For me, I probably would start with the inappropriate storytelling, right? Because that is something that, again, it is not so cemented, I could imagine, in their tradition, right? So I would just share with him, like, hey, I love going around your family, and I would say everything you said in the beginning of your letter. They're energetic, they're fun, they're, you know what I'm saying? All of the positives, right? You always lead with the positives. And then I think you can say, well, I just feel a little uncomfortable when they talk about, your sexual trysts with other folks, as your new person. It makes me a little bit uncomfortable. Right. And again, that can open up the dialogue of, what else makes you uncomfortable when you go visit my family's crib? And then you may have the opportunity to be like, well, the time when you and your aunt was sun kissing, I kind of felt the way. You know what I'm saying? No, let me not laugh. That probably would open up the floor for, listen, we need to discuss everything that's going on, and I'm a little bit peeking at, right? Number one, I would have to ask, how old are you guys? Because it is a little alarming to know that a grown man would be getting kissed in the mouth by his aunt, who's also not elderly, but an older woman. Like, that's a little weird, right? But again, if that's family tradition, who knows, right? Secondly, you have to also be mindful of, again, what could take place once you've shared what you're uncomfortable with, right? Because what I can imagine is, if folks are used to this, they're going to get defensive. Him in particular, he's going to get defensive, right? And you don't want, when he gets defensive, for you now to get defensive as well, and then now y'all doing head-to-head combat. That's not what you brought it up for. You brought it up for because you're uncomfortable and you would like to feel comfortable when going around him and his family, right? So when you notice that I might have pushed a button, then you kind of go into listening mode, You don't need to share anything else at that point. Go into listening mode. Because in those moments, because he's defensive, I imagine that he's going to start sharing more about this situation, and it'll kind of give you a little bit of more insight about how they do things within their family, right? So he might also share, like, listen, the last bitch I had got mad about that and I had to clip her. Okay, so now lets you know there's nothing that you could do about this and you might need to roll. You know what I'm saying? So you have to now allow him the opportunity to talk, and you just need to listen. So as he's talking, you can kind of gauge from him, like, okay, what direction he's going in, right? Now, one direction could be, I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. This is my family. This is what we do. You're not coming here with your 7 months and your 33 days and your freaking 22 minutes and messing up me and my family, right? If he's adamant about not doing anything about your uncomfortability or your discomfort, rather, I think that you need to reevaluate if this is the relationship for you. Because anybody that sees a future with you, they would take into consideration what makes you uncomfortable. And if it's in their power, they would do something about it. And if he's telling you that this is just something that he doesn't think that he needs to do anything about to accommodate you at all, and he's telling you this and you guys are 7 months in, you don't want to wait until you're 7 years in. So you might need to just go ahead and say, I gotta wash my hands of this, because we're not gonna get anywhere. And you don't have to continue being uncomfortable. That's his family, not yours, right? But let's just say he's open to assisting you and getting comfortable, and he needs to know, well, what do you need? What do you need not to happen? You have to be very thorough in explaining what your issue is, and you also have to understand, you also have to be self-aware to be able to express this and also recognize that it's not coming from a personal space. I'll give you an example, right? Say like a person has been essayed before by a family member, right? And then they date a guy whose family members put the daughter on a knee and let him bounce around. A person who has been essayed by a male and a family member, that's a trigger for them. Don't put my daughter on your knee, because again, I've been through things like that and it went bad. Meanwhile, this family could mean no harm in what they're doing. They're just trying to have fun with the young person, right? So if you're going to express to him your discomfort about what's taking place, you have to first do some self-assessing and make sure, is this coming from some shit that happened in my life? And I'm now here spilling my trauma all over these people? Again, I don't know. I only got what's in your letter, but you want to make sure that's the case, because what will end up happening is, if you don't, right, and he does offer you, hey, listen, I don't want you to be uncomfortable, tell me what's the issue. Once y'all get down to it and he hear that that's your shit, that's what he gonna tell you. Girl, that's your shit that happened in your family. That ain't got nothing to do with me and my family not like that, girl. Move around. And you're gonna hit a brick wall. So my advice to you is to make sure you self-assess, so you'll know that either A, this is not coming from some ish that I done been through and I'm just here regurgitating my trauma because I haven't worked through it. Or B, no, I'm just genuinely uncomfortable with what I'm experiencing in this space. Right? Now, once you share that with him, if he's on board to say, okay, I can kind of minimize and, yada, 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 you also have to prepare to be the villain. You have to prepare to be the villain, because sometimes when you meet people and vice versa, that energy and effort that goes into building that relationship causes a shift within those two people. If those two people have all of these people around them, they've been around their whole life, they don't always take kindly to that shift. I know you to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Since you got with Harry, now you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How did that happen? I shifted. I had to, because of the relationship that I'm in. Well, that doesn't make everybody else around you happy. So because of that, you may become the villain, right? They may notice that he's refraining from those type of behaviors and conversations, and they may now blame it on you, and you may become the villain, right? Only 1 or 2 things happening. Either 1, he's going to make it clear that you're not going to be treated as the villain because you're his lady, and they'll respect that. Or 2, you'll be okay with being enemy of the state until you're no longer that. You know, I've seen situations like that subside. I've seen folks come around and say, yeah, I've actually, you know, I'm not going to tell who the family member is, but I see it within my own family where I have a male and my family, and there's a female that some folks are not always fond of. But the male in our family is like, this is my person, and she's here. So whether you like it or not, we come as a package deal, and everybody else has found a way to conform to that, right? Me personally, I like the lady. I ain't got no issue with her, but I can see what everybody else's issue is. You know what I'm saying? But in all fairness, that male has made it clear. You know, he has safeguarded his spouse, which is what he needed to do, because their relationship and that shift that he's making is for the betterment of him as a person and them two in a relationship. It shouldn't be because I'm trying to be better or different that I'm taking away from who I am in this family. I don't have to kiss my aunt in the mouth. I don't have to let my cousins massage my. That's not the only way for us to stay connected as a family. So these are things that he can definitely put a stop to. But whether he steps in to safeguard you or not, that does not take away the fact that you still could be viewed temporarily as the villain or maybe permanently. You just have to be prepared for that. Because I know some people was like, well, listen, I don't want to date a person where the family don't like me. Well, if you shifting and shaping and molding and helping that other person become different than what they originally knew, you're running that risk anyway. And if you're not coming around to shape the room and make things happen and make a person better, then what are you here for? So if you are one of those people that you have a major concern about being liked by family members and being accepted into your spouse's family, then you have to also weigh the pros and the cons. Do I want to be the person that shares how uncomfortable this makes me and ask him to make it stop and now have to deal with the family after I have done so? That's on you. My first suggestion, if you were in the Operation Heal 100 Heart session, is what's going to make you comfortable and what's going to make you happy. That's what you have to focus on. So what you do is, y'all know my favorites. Besides boundaries, what am I always telling y'all to do? Get that pros and that cons list out. Get that pros and that cons list out. And up there you putting what's going to make you happy and what is not. And you run your list down. You know, and if having those inappropriate relationships with his family members make you uncomfortable, then you put that on the cons list. And whatever you put on a cons list for your spouse, if they have an option to address it and fix it and they don't, then you have to now figure out if that's the spouse for you and if you're in the best relationship. And that's not something somebody could tell you. That's not something somebody could show you. You have to do your own self-work and self-assessing to know if you're making the right decisions for yourself. One being in this relationship. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I was able to land a plane, because that was pretty heavy. That was pretty heavy. But I think I did a good job. And I also think that, once again, you have to think about boundaries. You have to think about what's going to benefit you. You have to think about your own triggers and trauma, and if it's showing up here for you, and do your own self-work. And then you will know what to do in order to move forward or move away from your relationship. In any event, if you need any more of my help or support or feedback, please come and get your Operation Heal 100 Heart sessions. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you enjoy your day. Be safe. I hope everybody is in a lensing season. I'm going to hit you guys back and let you know how it's going thus far. Thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and enjoy your day.